Shree Mataji, can we start at the very beginning? What is the need to achieve self-realization?
If you see the problems of this world today, you can easily find out that most of them are because of some sort of a problem which is existing among human beings. Some are aware of it and some are not. You take the physical, you take the mental, spiritual, social, political, religious. So that shows one thing, that we have not yet known the absolute truth. We have no yet that light in which we can see the absolute truth. And if there is a method by which you can advance in your evolutionary process and have a breakthrough into reality, then these problems can be solved. And that's why self-realization is imminent for us and is already planned by the divine.
So what kind of system, what kind of subtle system do we have that enables us to achieve this self-realization?
There's a system within us which we can call as the mechanism which achieves this happening through a connecting cord or the primule of our seed, which we call as Kundalini. So the truth is that we are not this body, this mind, this social life that we lead, or the ego that we have, or the conditionings, but we are the pure spirit. And the another truth is that there is an all-pervading power of divine love which does all the living works. Who runs our heart? They might say it's the autonomous nervous system, but who is this auto? All these questions are there. And we need something more in our awareness to understand what is all this. Why are we on this earth? And this subtle system is already there, existing within us. And this power of Kundalini, which is 3.5 coils, in our sacrum bone, imagine it was called sacrum by Greeks, means they knew it was a sacred bone. Which passes through 6 centers, which are energy centers within our spinal cord and brain, and connects us to this all-pervading power, to the subtle energy that does all the living work.
Then what is the difference between Sahaj Yoga and all these other yogas that are in the marketplace?
See, Saha means with you, Ja is born, that means spontaneous. Spontaneous yoga. That means it's a living process. But all other yogas are included in it. Like if you have a car and you ignite it, all the machinery starts working. In the same way, the machinery within starts working as soon as the Kundalini is awakened. All right? Now, this machinery, when it starts working, it is called as Raja Yoga. But normally people of Raja Yoga, what they do, that they try to use the machinery as if it is outside. Like your car has not yet started, you start moving the wheels. No use. It's like that. They do bandhas, means they try to muscular closing of the chakras they try. Because when the kundalini rises, these chakras close, no doubt. Because they allow the kundalini to move up and then close so that it doesn't fall down. But these people do it artificially. What's the use? There's no kundalini. Also they do khechari. There's some people who are having a self-realization organization in America, now it's finished I think, they used to cut this thread under the tongue and take the tongue backwards, saying that this is khechari. Actually what happens when the kundalini rises, then this tongue automatically is pulled inside because it is closed, you see. This center is closed. So automatically it is pulled inside. But these people do it artificially, and I have seen some people who had their tongues hanging, like wagging just like a dog's tongue. They can't speak, they can't eat. But they did it all in seeking, you see. And two were doctors from India. They never came back to India. So this is what it is, that to do something artificially can never achieve the yoga. It has to be spontaneous. Then Hatha Yoga is where people do asanas and things. There are 8 angas, means 8 facets of this Hatha Yoga of Patanjali, out of which one is Yamaniyama, out of which a wee bit are these asanas. We too use asanas sometimes if there's any physical problem. But first we allow the kundalini to rise, so we know where is the problem. And if it requires any physical exercise, then we tell, all right, you need a physical exercise. It's a science. It's not just asking everybody to do all kinds of asanas. And what happens with this, of course, the people thin down because they're terrible exercises. They thin down and they think they are very healthy, but such people get liver trouble, they get heart trouble, asthma, all kinds of things. So indiscriminate use of these things is wrong. After realization, then you should do it because you know what is your problem. Otherwise, without knowing the problem, you are just trying these things is not very good. But actually Patanjali himself has written what happens after realization, that you develop a thoughtless awareness. Even Yoga has written about it. So it shows that they have written about it. They may not have talked about Kundalini and all that, but they have written that these are the stages one has to pass through. This is the most part of Patanjali's book, most of it. A little bit is there about Yamaniyama, what you have to do, what you should not eat, what you should eat.
Another question along the same line, Shree Mataji, is why are there so many problems between religions?
Same thing. They have not yet got their self-realization. They haven't got their reality. They don't know what reality is. They are like blind people, and blind people always think they are the best, you see. But they can't see, and others are all fools. So when they start preaching something blind to the blind, where will they go? So they have to have their realization, which everybody has said. Christ has said it, Buddha has said it, Mahavira has said it, Krishna has said it, Rama has said it. Everybody has said that you have to have self-realization. But nobody does this. Most of the religions are power-oriented. They are fighting for a power or for land or for some mosque or something. Or, if not that, they are money-oriented. And it could be both also. So these are not religions because they are not spirit-oriented. I always say that these were flowers born on the tree of life. And then everybody plucked the flowers and carried those flowers with them, which were dead, and started proclaiming them, saying that these are our flowers, these are my flowers. And now they are with the dead flowers. So they are decaying, and people are finding it out. That's why now people have become very negligent about their religion, and they don't bother.
How does self-realization help to establish peace within oneself?
Of course it does. You see, all these things are in thoughts. All the religions are nothing but mere thoughts now. These are only mental processes. It has nothing to do with reality. So the thought starts and falls off, another thought starts and falls off. They either come from the past or from the future, or you can say from the conditionings and from the ego. So you are never in the present. That means you are never in the reality. But when this happens, this Kundalini rises, then these thoughts are elongated. In between these thoughts there is reality, the present, where you don't think. And you establish that state which we call as thoughtless awareness. By this happening, and you are at peace with yourself. I have known people who have got peace awards, this thing. They are very hot-tempered people, very, very hot-tempered. So, how can they spread peace when they are not peaceful within, you see? So, from that angle, one has to say that you have to have self-realization for your own self to be peaceful and to emit peace through you.
What advantages physically do we get from self-realization?
Physical being is very much helped. I have seen people getting cured during just the awakening. And many have been cured. There are 4 doctors now, we should say, who have got their MD in Sahaj Yoga for they were cured of diseases which were incurable. Then we have also a method by which you can feel yourself what are your problems physical are and the problems of others, because you develop a personality which we call as a collective conscious personality. And in that you can feel what's wrong with another person, what's wrong with you. It is a self-knowledge about your health, everything. And if you can correct these centers which are in a jeopardy, you are cured. You can cure others also. So it does help. It's your own power that helps you. You don't have to also go to these horrible places where they have to discover what's wrong with you. You just discover it on your fingertips. And if you know how to cure it, you can cure yourself and you can cure others also. But you have to know this knowledge, you have to have what is to be done, how to be all right with Sahaj Yoga. You see, you don't have to be all of them military-like, same-sized people. God has created every leaf different from another leaf, and that brings variety and personality, and one should respect the body. One should not go on trying to become like some cinema actor or actress, but you have to be yourself, whatever you are. And mostly the body is built up according to the need of a person. Now, for example, to protect my centers, I have to be little fat. Otherwise, if I thin down, I don't know what will happen to my centers, so I have to be fat. I accept it, that if I'm fat, is all right.
Then it would seem that through self-knowledge we are also reaching new dimensions. What are these new dimensions?
Yes, that's what you do. With self-knowledge, you really know yourself. First of all, what's the problem with you? Then you know others. Then you know the reality. And the reality is very simple to understand, that you have to enter into the kingdom of God. and enjoy yourself. What more do you want? And you don't have to pay for it because it's a living process. It's very simple. When you are in a filthy pond, facing all kinds of worms and things, to you that pond becomes reality. But the lotuses that come out with their fragrance, for them, their new life is reality. That's the heaven for them. And they are not bothered as to what surrounds them. But here is more. You are bothered and you try to elevate others also. And then you realize how great is your own being, how glorified it is. And you start respecting yourself and utilizing it for the benefit of others.
Self-realization would appear to be a very powerful thing. Does one develop new powers?
Of course, it gives lots of powers. Firstly, it gives you the power of collective consciousness, by which you know the problems of others. Within yourself you are peaceful and you are very kind and compassionate. At the same time you are very dynamic. Supposing you have some talent which is not yet expressed well, suddenly it starts expressing. I have seen people who are like chartered accountants becoming great poets. Musicians suddenly become world famous because whatever power they had, their talent had, now being enlightened. We use a very little of it. But with this you are so confident of yourself and so compassionate at the same time that it works. And it has worked with so many people, even artists and also dancers. Everybody has seen the beauty of their own potential. That's what happens to many people.
And to ask the age-old question, to paraphrase Pontius Pilate, what is truth? How do we achieve it?
That's what I told you throughout. The truth is that you are the spirit. And the another is there's an all-pervading power. And through Kundalini awakening, you have to have connection with this all-pervading power. So your spirit starts shining in your being, in your life.
And another fundamental question, Shree Mataji, what is pure divine love?
No, but at mental level, what will you understand? You see, your mental level is limited. You have to go beyond it. Then you know the truth is that you are the spirit. And then because the manifestation of the spirit starts. Pure divine love is the energy, is a subtle energy which does all the creation, all the sustenance and all the redemption. So in this redemption process now we have become human beings. Now the same power which is reflected in us as Kundalini works out the last bit where we become connected to this all-pervading power. So this pure love, as I am talking about, is a very subtle energy, is the ocean of real knowledge, is the ocean of compassion, blessings. And above all, it is dynamism. So this energy understands things, coordinates, cooperates. Above all, it loves. But its love is not like a human love where you get entangled with your child or with your wife or with something. Actually, this beautiful energy is very delicately handling human beings. And it rises like a sap in the tree, which gives energy to all the parts of the tree, and then it evaporates, or else it goes back. It's not attached to anything. But when you are attached to someone, then what happens? That love dies. As a result, you get stagnated. Like the sap, supposing gets attached to one flower, the tree will die, and ultimately also the flower will die. So it's a process of complete detached movement of this energy of divine love.
So human love really is very selfish.
Yes, because you see, not I would say selfish always, but it's always limited. Because there's a mental capacity. Also, apart from the mental capacity, there is emotional capacity, which are all limited in human beings. But this one is not limited.
And on a much more mundane level, you have an enormous organization that operates right throughout the world. How is it done without money?
It's an organization which is spontaneously built, and it's a living organism, like our bodies. And it exists through cooperation, coordination, understanding. Very innate feelings of oneness. This is the reason why we don't have to spend much money. Of course, we don't spend any money for self-realization, which is a living process. Also, we don't spend really much money otherwise also, which you would require to organize something or to do something, because such a spontaneous happening. But we need sometimes some money, say, for maybe organizing a program in a city and things. We find it very easy with so many people. With little money, we can do a lot. And also there are blessings. And we get so many times things so cheaper, so much better with little payment. Firstly, Shree Mataji, as you call me, I would say in the beginning I just was so concerned how to spread Sahaj Yoga that I would travel myself on my own account. Even I have booked halls on my account. But now everybody said that it is not proper that you should pay for our salvation also. So they collect some money. But the amount is so little that everybody's purse is not much touched. And those who can afford to pay only pay very little amount of money.
And I have heard that many Sahaj yogis say that if you help with your own money, if you help finance God's work, it also helps you financially.
That's what they think. So they have experienced like that, and that's why they believe that those who have generously helped for Sahaj Yoga have been looked after in every way. That is their experience.
Yes, it seems to be. Yes. It's a natural event.
Yeah, this is the kindness of the divine. Also those who try to harm us, I'm told, get harmed, which I don't want to do any harm to them. But something happens to them like a divine punishment maybe. Not of a severe type, but it does something to them that makes them understand that they have done wrong to us. We only forgive, we don't do anything to them.
And one final question, Shree Mataji. Do you see a big increase in Sahaja Yoga?
Yes, that's what I've seen now. Suddenly, last year it started galloping very fast, and in every country it has gone up very much.
So by the end of the century we should have many thousands of Sahaja
Yes, we will. No doubt about it. Practically most of them who are to be emancipated, you will find many.
That is an interesting thing you say. This means there is a certain number of Sahaja yogis, a potential.
Still there are quite a lot. But I think some will be judged as no good, maybe, because I've seen such people myself.
Thanks very much.
May God bless you.